Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another apartment renovation, and today we're going to go ahead and renovate 2B Jasmine Suites. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1. So you may actually remember, but I have done an apartment renovation of this apartment 2B Jasmine Suites before. It was quite a long time ago now, and it was actually for my City Living LP, if anybody remembers that, with Vincent Wilder. That was a renovation for that particular LP. So it was kind of personalised, and I didn't really sort of change the floor plan up that much. It still had the two original bedrooms that the apartment actually comes with, but I wanted to do it again because you may have noticed I have done a few apartment renovations recently, just one or two that I've actually done before in the past, just because it's like so many years ago and I've kind of improved my building skills and just to kind of see what I could do differently. So that's what we're doing here today, and I did actually change the floor plan up a little bit of this apartment. So originally it did have 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and I actually turned it into just a 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom apartment, and I did also flip around the floor plan a little bit too. I just kind of had in mind for some reason to do some sort of apartment for like a really high flying young person that's really kind of career focused, and that's kind of what this apartment is themed like. It's very modern, it's got like some luxurious aspects to it and kind of just a little bit upper scale, so I did use a lot of items from Moschino stuff. I felt like that pack fit really well with what I had in mind, and I think overall it was kind of just a nice themed apartment and just a little bit different. So, you know, you could maybe rearrange this a little bit more to add in a second bedroom if you wanted to. So I kind of didn't really use the space that well because really you could put 2 bedrooms in here. So I just thought it'd be nice to change it up a little bit for what I had in mind, so that's what I did. So like I said, this is up on the gallery. And I did use quite a few packs today. Sometimes I do pack restrict, and then other times I just kind of have something in mind that I really want to do, and just don't focus too much on packs. I did do a base game build the other day though. I do those once in a while if I'm feeling guilty for using so many packs in my builds. I will do a base game build every now and again, so I did do that to kind of make up for all of the packs that I've been using recently in my builds. So I'm just going to get the information up on the gallery. It's taken so long to load for some reason, I don't know why. And yeah, so it came in at 49,705 simoleons, and then like I said, the packs, I pretty much used all the expansions apart from Get to Work, I think, but for the game packs and the stuff packs I didn't use as many of those. So for the game packs it was just Parenthood, Dine Out and Spa Day, and for the stuff packs it was just Tiny Living and Moschino stuff. And then this is an apartment, so if you don't know how to download apartments from the gallery, they do work a little bit different than normal lots. So I had to upload this as a room, which meant that I had to take out one section of wall from each of the rooms to make it into one big room. So when you download this home again, you'll have to go back and add in one section of wall for each of the rooms to separate them back off again. So you will see them, they're not like hidden or anything, and it's really frustrating that we'll have to do that. I wish there was a better system on the gallery for apartments, but I don't know if that's going to be very likely. But I do really like apartments in the game, and I think that with the newest pack, Eco Lifestyle, getting some new apartments is a really good indicator. I think that it is possible, of course, and hopefully we'll get some more apartment buildings in the future packs. I really love San Myshuno. City Living in general, I use that pack quite a lot, as you probably noticed in my builds. It's got a very nice style of items that kind of fit in with a lot of different things. I use them sometimes in traditional builds and sometimes in modern builds, so it's a really good all-round pack for building, I think, and of course the gameplay in the apartments too. So it was really nice to go back to the apartments in this world. I mean, we don't really have many other options to go to, but it's nice to sort of revisit this apartment building and just the apartments in San Myshuno, because I don't really go in them that often. And I actually re-watched the apartment renovation I did years ago of this, so it's been interesting to see kind of how my building styles changed from all that time ago till now. I definitely think that I have a sort of like a very simplistic building style, I would say. People ask me sometimes and I don't really know how to describe it. I do prefer to do a lot of modern interiors, and I also just prefer to make things fairly minimalistic and just kind of nice and clean. I don't use too much clutter in my builds, as you probably saw, which I know can be a little bit boring when I kind of say that out loud. I do sometimes, you know, like on the coffee tables and things like that, but I don't really like to cram builds full with too much clutter. Sometimes you know, I do, if it's going to fit the build, like a traditional family home, then, you know, I will put more clutter in than, say, this type of build, which is more on the modern side. But, you know, every once in a while, it's nice to play around with debug items and things. I don't think I used too many debug items today. I did use a few from Eco Lifestyle, so you can see the wall sconce light that's next to the front door. That one I did actually use from the debug menu, and also that little desk lamp there too. That's from the hidden objects within Eco Lifestyle. That's one of the annoying things about that pack, is that there's so many nice items within that pack, Eco Lifestyle, that are hidden, that you have to turn on cheats to get to them. And also because there are debug items, you can't as easily use all the game functions with them, like, you know, using the eyedropper tool or changing colour swatches on them. Understand why, because of how the gameplay works with Eco Lifestyle, but, you know, for a builder's perspective, it is a little bit frustrating. So we're just working on that little office section there. I don't know what type of sort of career this kind of sim I had in mind that would live here would have, but I would imagine that working from home may be an aspect of it, and doing extra work at home, so I made like a nice study area there. I really love that hanging sort of shelving unit as well from Eco Lifestyle. I did use that above the desk, and I put a few things on there. And now we're just working on the bedroom. So I do often have, and I mention this quite a lot, but I often have trouble when it comes to bedrooms to just make them look more interesting, because it's very easy just to put the bed in and then 2 bedside tables with a lamp on, which is kind of totally normal. But, you know, when you do so many builds, it's kind of, sometimes it's nice to have to sort of switch things up a little bit. So the arrangement that I did in this bedroom is a little bit different than I usually do. I do it sometimes, it's just a nice way to switch things up, where I went ahead and put the console table behind the bed, and it just, I think actually that marble one looks really nice. I think that one is from Dine Out, is it? I think it's Dine Out, and it kind of has a nice modern aspect to it, and kind of that luxury sort of aspect to it as well, which I was kind of going for with the particular sim I had in mind. So I did use quite a few Eco Lifestyle items and objects in this build as well, as you can see. And I've mentioned this in my Eco Lifestyle builds, but I do think that pack as well works really well with different types of interior styles. So of course for like the Eco Lifestyle theme, but also with kind of modern builds as well, because it kind of fit in nicely in this build, like especially the kind of siding, like that wooden siding. I use that as feature walls throughout this build, and also I really love the kind of wall decoration, like the little slats of wood. As you can see there, kind of got it next to the bed there. Kind of an interesting modern thing. We've got something similar from City Living as well, and Get Famous as well, I think. It was really, actually, I don't know if you saw it before on the screen, but I had to take out a wall to put that divider thing in, because it is actually a wall item. So if you download this build, I would probably recommend not touching it, because if you click on it, it'll kind of snap to the wall, and it's a bit irritating to kind of get right. And then here, I wasn't really too sure what to put on that wall, so I just put a few of those debug paintings from Island Living, I think. It was just like I think it just added a little bit of personality, like maybe that Sim's been to Solani or something and they took some photos while they were diving. So I thought that was kind of like a nice little personalised aspect of the build, because as you know, I don't really do that too often with my build, so I thought it was a nice idea. And then we're just working on the bathroom, and that's pretty much it for today's build. I don't know if you noticed, but I have slowed this footage down quite a bit, because this build literally took me about 25 minutes to do in total. And I knew that as I was doing it, I was thinking to myself that the build is going to be very, very short if I keep going at the pace I do, because I think I am a fairly fast builder. So yeah, I was going very fast during this build, so I did slow down the footage for a little bit. I think it's a nice change. Let me know what you think about it. I don't like to do speed builds that slow all the time, but you know, just a one-off, I suppose. And yes, that's it for today's build. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. If you have any more suggestions for the apartment renovations you want me to do next, or any other builds in general, that'd be really helpful to hear. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!